The views and opinions on this podcast are those of the hosts and producers and are not those of Apple or any authorized service provider. Information provided is purely for entertainment purposes only. For more information about products and services discussed in this program, we invite you to visit a corporate Apple store or an approved, certified Apple service and sales center.
Today we celebrate the first.
Hello, I'm a Mac.
You're stealing from us!
Don't Sculley Around.
The Apple podcast that brings you information from both sides of the counter.
They want you to enjoy your product. May not seem like it, but they do.
From both the customer and the sales and service provider's point of view.
Do you want to sell sugar water for the rest of your life? Or do you want to come with me and change the world?
Because we don't scully around.
What can I say? I hired the wrong guy.
And welcome back to Don't Sculley Around, podcast hosted by two authorized Apple technicians.
How do you always manage to find things I don't remember saying and they're hilarious?
I don't know. They're there for all time.
This is terrifying. I feel like this is how I'm going to start every podcast. Where'd you find that? Anyway, hi.
It's all fake. It's just AI.
And we will AI that out. So I am Caitlin Williams, and this is Chris Williams, my husband. We are Apple certified technicians, and we just enjoy talking about Apple things because we don't get enough of it at work. So today, I really badly wanted to talk about AppleCare One and actually just Apple services in general, their subscription services, because there's been some very interesting changes over the years. AppleCare One has been very exciting for me because AppleCare has been evolving for a while. It originally was just the regular limited warranty, only covers manufacturer defects, doesn't include accidental damage. Then it grew to have AppleCare Plus, which includes accidental damage incidents. And then they changed it to a subscription-based, which originally I thought was, well, that's kind of stupid because that's going to cost a lot more money. Yes, it does, but now it goes for even longer. We're finding that it goes until your device actually hits vintage rather than just 2 to 3 years. We have older iPhones, which is still weird to think because they still feel brand new. We still have AppleCare on that should have expired last year, which is a nice feeling. And AppleCare One is basically like the next step, apparently, in that evolution we didn't know we were missing. So AppleCare One makes it so that once you get a few Apple devices, this is a lot of different subscription or monthly payment things for different warranties. And so with AppleCare One, they unveiled, let's see, when was it? Sorry, July 23rd. So I am a little late, but I've been very excited. They unveiled AppleCare One for just $19.99 per month. You can protect up to 3 products on one plan, with the option to add more at any time for $5.99. It also covers devices that I believe go back about 4 years, roughly, from what we've been seeing. It also adds already owned devices, so things that you already owned, it can actually add AppleCare One. Yes, up to 4 years old. There's an asterisk, so I'm sure there's additional things to, like, it can't already be broken. That might be not against the rules. And it provides customers with more opportunities to protect their devices even beyond the current 60-day window with the purchase of AppleCare Plus. I know for mine, it added my phone and my laptop that I have. Now, some of the other interesting things, okay, what if I bought old AppleCare Plus? You know, the one that goes for 3 years on a computer or 2 years on everything else. So apparently, because I did do this upgrade myself, my computer I had paid for AppleCare Plus. I actually got a refund, and a digital refund, so it's an Apple card for the Apple Store for the prorated amount of the AppleCare that I had used. So I now have some money from that. I also got because the timing was weird when I did it for my phone, it actually discounted my AppleCare Plus for some reason by $5. But anyway, for this month, it was weird. Again, this is a subscription, so it is something that you're constantly paying. And if your subscription ever stops, meaning your card bounces, you just decide to cancel it, then you don't have warranty anymore. But the thing that's really exciting for me is that my iPhone that I would normally have 2 years of warranty on, and at this point I should be replacing it in the Apple world brain. When that battery dies or gets consumed, as they like to call it, which I'm very close to probably having sometime this year or early next year needing to do, I'll be able to get that done for free rather than paying for it because of the subscription service I've had. So it's exciting, plus it also still does the theft protection like we had originally, which is a little bit more expensive, but it's a phone, so I figured I should. It's nice that you don't lose any of that, but it's all under one blanket. It just makes it a bit easier to understand what the heck's being protected by what, because that is a constant question. Anyway, your turn, seeing as you're a bit eager, and I'm sorry I just blathered on for a while.
No, this is very interesting because obviously there's going to be caveats and restrictions. As you mentioned, the device that is either out of warranty, you didn't buy AppleCare on the device originally, or you've had it for at least 2 to 3 years and it's still within that 4-year window that this new AppleCare One program is covering. There is probably going to be a caveat that we would think would require you to take your device to an Apple location or approved service provider, or call AppleCare support so that they can run diagnostics to make sure your machine is healthy. Because usually you have to do that if you didn't buy AppleCare on a device within that 60-day window.
You're old school.
Okay.
They've updated.
They've changed that.
Oh, they've changed it. So now when you purchase AppleCare Plus and it's after the device has been opened, I think it's after like a week if it's on a phone, part of the process is it actually just automatically runs what we call for the Macs, Mac Resource Inspector, and for the phones, Mobile Resource Inspector. They actually just released another one called AirPod Resource Inspector, and I'm sad that that doesn't start with an M. I think they ran out of things that they could do because it's not a microphone. But anyway, so it actually just runs the basic, what we would call MRI, again, that Mobile Resource Inspector or Mac Resource Inspector. It's a basic hardware test of going, is everything okay? And they do run that. And then I believe, because it's been a while since I've seen this, it does kind of just ask the customer, is it broke? They hope you answer honestly. It has been a while on that one because all of my devices have been new when I got the AppleCare. I do know with my laptop it didn't ask for that, but I already had AppleCare Plus on it. It's not like it was taking something that wasn't. I am curious because we have some other devices in the house that may be eligible that we're thinking about trying out a little bit later when that's the one we haven't done yet.
What about our watches?
Our watches are too old.
Okay.
Our watches are far too old. Our watches are 4 years old, 5 years old now. So our watches are the oldest.
They're older than our phones.
Yes.
Okay.
By at least 2 generations.
Okay.
Which we discussed in the last one, at least lightly. So yeah, having all of that in there. Plus, honestly, since Apple's gone to subscriptions, it's been a whole new learning path for us in the service industry because Apple didn't really tell us anything. Also, Apple authorized service providers so far that cannot sell the subscription. It's actually something I would love to talk to somebody's ear off on, going, how is that fair? It feels like I'm not giving my customer the best value, but that's just my own opinions. Because to me, the best opinion would be this because it covers it longer.
We're required
to sell
AppleCare
a certain amount.
Plus for a certain amount of...
Yeah. So I have questions, but I have no one to ask. But anyway, one of the things we ran into about 2 weeks ago is we had a customer that brought in an iPad that had a smash screen, and she still had AppleCare Plus, so we checked it in. And as we processed it, we found that the device was vintage, which means that Apple stops producing parts for it, so we shouldn't be able to repair that. But it still had AppleCare Plus. I reached out to our internal Apple reps who go, that's weird. It kind of just stopped at that point. We weren't able to process the repair. Then we had another one come in about a week later. Different iPad, different person. When we tried to create the repair in our Apple repair side, it told us that we could only create a service non-repair, which is meaning that we can't actually repair it. We're just basically giving a report to Apple, and that the customer needed to contact AppleCare support. Amazingly enough, this customer actually did all of that directions. And Apple just said, yes, your device is too old to be replaced with the exact same item, so we're just going to give you a newer one.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was really cool. She was a very nice lady. I kind of wish I could know the final ending of that, but sometimes that's the joys of being a tech, is you don't know how things end when you tell them to go somewhere else because you can't do it. Like I said, AppleCare in itself is very interesting, and I mean, we're a big fan of all the warranties out there. It's like the only warranty I wish I could somehow help people understand I'm not just trying to sell you something because I have to meet a minimum. It's actually useful, meaning that there's not a lot of loopholes to it. You can break it however you wish to break it. Not that I recommend you break your stuff because you'll be without it for a little while. It's just like, okay, screen's broke, I'll replace that. Okay, we don't necessarily need to know why. We just need to know that it's broken and we can take care of it.
Because we can tell you, we've seen things you wouldn't believe. We've seen computers come in with bent displays, bent top cases, all because students at a local prep school in the wintertime use their MacBook Airs as baseball bats and hit ice balls at each other.
Because they can. I also have I have had some stories in the past. This is an older one, but I had a couple that came in and they kept having their beautiful 27-inch iMacs back when those existed break. The screens would break, which is not something they just do on their own. You kind of have to help them. When we replaced 3 of them, this was before AppleCare Plus, so they were paying full price for the screens. Which is not cheap. And after the second one of the people came over to me and asked, how can I stop my kid from throwing the controller at the screen? Do they make hard shells for this? And I just kind of blinked at her because I was like, this is not a normal problem. And how do you nicely tell someone maybe your kid shouldn't be in front of a computer yet? It wasn't like a 3-year-old. So it was... there's lots of fun stories, but yeah, that was definitely... I honestly don't know how I answered the question anymore. It's been that long. I mean, iMacs and desktops. Actually, I was just working on putting up our price or updating our price list internally, and we were deciding if we wanted to put the pricing for desktops up. And it was actually something we discussed and went, we don't really repair desktops that much short of lightning strikes or external damage. And I guess lightning strikes are external damage as well, but I've replaced too many power supplies, in my opinion, in Mac Studios, but that's 3.
All right, we're going to come back in just a bit and talk more about Apple services because there's a lot of them, and we've watched some videos where people were talking about, like, at one point, Steve Jobs was suggested to him that maybe they just license out Mac OS and get out of the hardware business, and Apple really seems like, in addition to staying true to making the best products that they can, with the best software that they can develop and controlling everything, they're definitely big on services and helping you get the most out of your Apple experience and staying within the Apple ecosystem. So we'll talk more about Apple services when we come back on Don't Sculley Around. Hey, do you got something to say?
You talking to me?
Shaker Electronics can help you get your message out, whether it's promoting your business, a call to action, health tips, sharing family recipes, or even a personal memoir. Set up a 2-hour podcast recording session at your home or office today, and we'll bring our professional quality gear to you. Shaker Electronics will work with you to get your finished podcast up and running on platforms like Spotify, iTunes, now Apple Podcasts, of course, and even YouTube. Yes, audio-only podcasts on YouTube are a thing. So contact Shaker Electronics today, won't you? At shakerelectronicsnh@gmail.com, or you can call and text them at 603-397-9114. Produce your own podcast with the help of Shaker Electronics. Shaker Electronics serves the Upper Valley, Twin State area of New Hampshire and Vermont, and they'll travel within 50 miles of Lebanon, New Hampshire. So see how close you are to Shaker Electronics, and they'll come and help you out. ShakerElectronicsNH@gmail.com. Let Shaker Electronics sweep away your computer worries. And we thank Shaker Electronics for supporting the show. And by the way, we are live on, well, not live, but the show is now on Spotify as well as YouTube.
So weird.
It is.
It's everywhere.
And eventually we'll start shooting video, and it'll be fun.
Yes, you probably see the buzzballs that we have. You may hear them in the background.
Yes. You may hear them scurrying around or crackling on things, but we try to do our best here on Don't Sculley Around to make the show sound as good as we can, not having a proper studio as of yet. But yeah, we're back. We want to talk a little bit about Apple services because, yeah, I mean, I was working with a customer a month ago. He wanted to make sure he was logged into all of his newspaper subscriptions. And honestly, at the time, I was looking at the service tiers, and I thought he could get a better deal going through the Apple services to get all of his newspaper subscriptions plus Apple Music and access to all of, and it just seemed like that was a better deal. He was getting a better deal just going to the individual news sites, but maybe since then things have changed.
So I'm not as well versed on the news, but the other big service, which apparently we should just call this the Apple One's series because there's AppleCare One and now there's Apple One because we don't want to be confusing or anything. So Apple One, not AppleCare One, but Apple One is specifically their subscriptions where they're merging all their subscriptions together, which sounds like, oh, cool, Apple's trying to get more money out of us. It sort of is and sort of isn't. I know for us originally, I was like, oh, this is stupid. We're not going to need it. And then I started looking into it, and it really becomes, if you start using, I would say 3 of Apple services, it becomes something to consider. I know for us, we were using 4 services prior. I looked at it, and it ended up saving us like $5 a month. I mean, I know that's only $5, but that's $5 I don't have to spend. And then I get more things I didn't really care. Like, I didn't really care about Apple Arcade. I think most of the world doesn't care about Apple Arcade. Don't tell Apple. Or maybe tell Apple. But we also, I get my news elsewhere, so I don't really use the news app, so I was like, whatever. But we do use Apple Music, we use iCloud, so this gave you more iCloud storage space, or as they call it now, iCloud Plus, for reasons I don't know.
So what are we getting right now for storage with just our basic tier that we're on?
Well, I've upped us because I like storage and I store too much stuff. I'm just going to say stuff. So with ours, we're currently at 2 terabytes because we use 467.5 gigs of data.
We have that many photos?
Yes, plus also mixed into that, it's also all of the Apple product photos because those are synced with my iCloud.
Okay.
Because so far that's been the best way to do it.
Because the marketing stuff you do, I understand.
I actually haven't looked and seen why we're so high now that I'm thinking about it. Actually, it might be you. It says family usage is 285 gigs. Why am I looking at this now?
I don't know.
No,
It's
I
helpful.
have more.
Okay.
I have more. Oh, it's because I share with myself. Anyway, this is a very good thing to go off on a tear on. But anyway, iCloud, it has iCloud storage with it, just to get back to where we were. There's also family plans versus premier plans that they have. So depending on what you need, like we are on a family plan because there's more than one of us. So the individual plan, so the lowest plan of this, and you can still get the services individually. It's not like you can't. So the individual plan is iCloud Plus, which gives you 50 gigs of storage space. Apple TV Plus, which is something we didn't really care to have, but great. I think we've watched 4 shows on it.
Yeah. I think we would watch WWDC, and Tim Cook would be like, and we're so happy to announce that the next season of Ted Lasso is going to be live on Apple TV Plus next week.
And we were like, who cares?
Who cares?
It's a game show, or it's about ball and
then we
stuff
watched
like that.
Ted Lasso and absolutely fell in love with the show.
Yeah, and we're not sports people. Like, what? It's such an adorable show.
But I got to say, the studio was really good.
Yeah, that was weirdly good.
Yeah.
Didn't quite know where it was going ever. I don't even think it knew where it was going. But anyway, back to individual. So individual gives you iCloud Plus with 50 gigs of storage space. Apple TV Plus. So that's not the Apple TV box. That's the subscription to their movies and TV shows that they are producing specifically. Their own subscription service for that. Apple Music and Apple Arcade. Then there's a family plan, which is $25.95 per month, at least currently. That ups your storage space to 200 gigabytes. You get Apple TV Plus, you get music and arcade. And for us, we're actually doing Premiere because we also wanted to try fitness. So I ended up doing that one. and it actually works for up to 5 people. The family plan and the Premier actually work with up to 5 different people, which is, I actually have it sharing with myself twice technically because I'm weird and have too many Apple IDs. But anyway, that one has the everything. So that has iCloud Plus, that has Apple TV Plus, that has music, that has arcade, it has Fitness Plus, and it has News Plus. So the Fitness Plus is something we wanted to kind of try out, especially once we got the Apple Watches, because there's a lot of like exercise programs that they are releasing so that you can actually do it on your phone, on your TV. Then Apple did an update to do SharePlay, so you could be away and you could do the exercises with each other, which is weird and cool. We've actually used it in the same room because we wanted to keep track of each other's exercise rings because it pops up on there. It's kind of fun, and they're very upfront about like the different types of exercises that are going on. As a person who does not exercise and should, it has given me some stuff to try and try to follow. And actually, if I was going to pay for the subscription anyway, it ended up adding up so that it ended up basically making the news and the arcade and the fitness free, which was the stuff that, and actually the Apple TV, because I didn't really care about that either. But there was some like mild interest, but it's kind of why we jumped into there. It's something I check on customers' computers actually whenever I'm done working with their major problem that they came in for. I actually do like to go over their, if we have the time, their iCloud storage to make sure that they're not overpaying for storage space, which I see a lot of because honestly it can get confusing. And one thing I haven't been checking is the Apple One, and I really should make that a habit because it really can help save you money. But it's also something of take a look at what you're paying for now, see if there's anything you want in the other tiers, and if there's not, stick with what you got. You don't have to jump up to it. They may want you to, but you can always say no.
And we always recommend that you check your streaming services as well. Are you using that streaming service that you're paying for each month? If you're not, cancel it.
And I know there's like apps out there that are supposed to help you find your streaming apps. One of the things I ended up finding that's really helpful, that's been great for us, is almost every single one of our streaming things I subscribe to through Apple. There's very few that I don't, and that's only because they won't let me, which I believe is, if I'm doing it, is Hulu, and Netflix so far will not let me subscribe through Apple. I really like it because I can just, honestly, I have a 3-month tier, which is basically if we haven't been on there in 3 months and done anything, then I'm going to cancel that because I can always start it again. Netflix makes it really complicated to cancel. I finally canceled that for the first time like last year because we weren't using it. I canceled Hulu a while ago, and I've been thinking about re-signing up because of Disney, because Disney does bundles now. But being able to control that has been really nice. So I would say we usually have 3 to 4 subscriptions of stuff that we're streaming that we're actively watching. Of course, you do have to remember to check that every 3 months, which I'm not the best at that either, but it is nice to be able to just look at it all in one place. So I guess those apps that can find all of that is helpful, but you can also spend the time and look at your own billing account and see what's being taken out.
That's true. You can check what's.
I mean,
being
that's what it's
deducted
doing.
out.
Is it's going through your bank account or whatever account that you let it see, and it's going. You have this subscription, that subscription. I mean, it is good practice to actually go through and look at your account, so make sure that you're not being billed or charged incorrectly. I'm not good at following that, but being able to manage the subscriptions generally all in one place, I mean, it's been great. It makes it a lot easier, and I don't feel like I am paying for services I'm not using. I mean, yeah, I guess I sort of am not because I'm not really using news. Actually, I've been getting into arcade here and there because every now and then they release a silly little game that's like a very high-end, beautiful game. Like I'm playing a very silly Disney game at the moment. That's beautiful.
Yeah. And some of them are even maybe older games or quote unquote free games that had like a lot of like commercials that have now been removed because you're playing it through Apple.
Yeah, these are in
Arcade.
app. So there was one that they actually advertised a couple of years ago at the one of the Apple presentations, and and I ended up downloading it called Wildflowers. I was not expecting that game to be as beautiful and as good as it was, and I got really addicted, and I'm really sad they're done with it, and I'm hoping the developer makes another game because it was beautiful and fun, and it had a really good story. I was not expecting a farming game to turn into a witch game, to turn into a fishing game.
So to look at how
with romance.
Yeah. So to look at how things break down if we're paying for these services individually. There's a Wired article that mentions that Apple Music is $11 per month for an individual plan, $17 for a family, and $6 for the student student plan or voice plan, Apple TV Plus is $10 a month, which I can't imagine just paying $10 a month to watch Apple TV Plus on its own. Apple Arcade is $7. Apple News is $13 a month. Apple Fitness is $10 per month or $80 per year. And iCloud is $1 per month for 50 gigs of storage, $3 for a month for 200 gigabytes, and $10 a month for 2 terabytes. But what's interesting about this article, Wired points out, is unfortunately there are service news providers that aren't available. So, when of course, obviously, the two biggest ones, the two biggest news sources you would want to probably subscribe to would be the New York Times and the Washington Post. Those are not available on Apple News. You have to subscribe to them separately, even though they might link you to articles that are from those publications.
You can have it, and I believe it'll synchronize it all into one place, but you still have to pay for a separate subscription to them, which, knowing them, is not a huge surprise.
Yeah.
I'm actually amazed it's only 2.
Yeah. There might be more, but
Yeah.
those
Those are the main ones.
Those are the 2 biggest news organizations that people would likely want to subscribe to.
And if you go to the Apple One, again, not AppleCare One, but specifically Apple One website, and scroll down to where it has the pricing, there's actually a button that says See Price Breakdown, and it can show you what the equivalent, what it would add up to be. Like, for example, I just clicked on individual. Individual is $19.95 per month, but if you paid for all the services separately, it would add up to $96. There's a line through it. It's hard to read. And that's just one of the examples. Like I said, for us, I believe we were paying $32 a month for what we wanted to have. And then I wanted to add the Apple Fitness. And honestly, I've been happy. It's been nice to have the Apple TV every now and then. The Fitness I do use, just not as much as I probably should. I randomly use the arcade. I think it's mainly because I'm paying for it. I should figure out what's on it. I'm not a crotchety old woman, I promise.
I played the Frogger game for a little while. I thought it was fun.
Like I said, this Disney game should not be this good. This is really annoying, and I don't like the fact that I am actively having conversations with Remy, Minnie Mouse, Mickey Mouse, Goofy, and apparently Merlin.
Okay.
Oh, and Jafar. I just released Jafar.
Oh, good.
There's no Iago.
No Iago?
No, but he's depressed that he's not there.
Oh,
and Gaston is apparently missing LeFou so badly that he made a coconut version that he gives me. Not kidding, this is from the game. He's also, when you meet him, he is completely dehydrated and just asks for spiky fruit.
Okay.
This is not a random part of the conversation.
No, not at all. Not at all.
But anyway, that's a game that's on Apple Arcade called Disney Dreamlight Valley. Seeing as I'm going to advertise something, but these services, as much as everybody gets us on subscriptions and the whole world has changed to subscriptions, again, do your homework. Make sure you actually want the services, or it's something you're going to use at least half of. It was kind of my thing. Once I looked at it and I'm doing 4 of the 6, it was kind of like, okay, that makes sense. And the fact that I can share it with Chris is also nice as well, even if he only uses part of it too. It's beneficial, mainly for my storage space.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us on this services-filled edition of Don't Sculley Around. Join us next time when we're going to dig in to some of the stuff coming out along the pike from Apple. They're going to have a big announcement real soon, but we're going to talk a little bit about Mac OS Tahoe, as well as some stuff that's going away hardware-wise.
Yeah, it's kind of a big year of changes. But yeah, definitely follow along. We'll go over at least our general impressions of the macOS Tahoe. No, we are not on beta, but just what we have seen from pictures and what we're excited about, what we're concerned about.
And as always, we encourage you that if you have an Apple device that's currently under warranty, please don't take it to the guy at the kiosk across from the Apple store that says he'll fix your phone real cheap. Yeah, he'll fix your phone all right.
But for how long?
We'll tell you. We always encourage you to take your Apple devices to an Apple store or a certified Apple service provider. And we'll see you next time on Don't Sculley Around.
See you in the next one. Why am I so awake?